not saying that. I think this is our best class since we've been here of high school players. I think that's a product of a lot of things. Assistant coaches working really hard, doing a really good job. Really good general manager, Billy Glasscock, putting things together. And I think that that's a product of now a lot of winning seasons. So as these guys went into high school, all they've done is see us win. And so, third for their time, third winningest program in the SEC, sitting alone, behind Georgia and Alabama. So I think that's critical. It's critical for players to see that over time, that they know a place wins. So with all that, I think it's just a really exciting class of a lot of players, a lot of different spots, and some positions of need. And, again, for the third year in a row, signed the number one player in the state, which is huge.
But just before we get into discussing the specifics of the class, obviously the CFP show came out last night, and you guys are ranked number 13 right now, and they made it seem like there's not going to be movement among teams that aren't playing this weekend. I know you shared some thoughts on social media. Was just hoping you could give us a little insight onto your thoughts on the first 12-team playoff and what needs to change in the process going forward.
Yeah, I think probably to surprise you with this, this press comes about signing day. I understand the question. I've been very vocal, social media-wise with some things, and just want to keep this press conference and not steal from these players, and that this is a huge day for them.
You touched on it about the top recruit in the state. Just from when you got here to now and the success you've had the past couple of years, what have you seen or the credit to y'all's success with the in-state kids and keeping them here?
Well, like I said, I think there's a number of factors there. I think that, we've been dominant, over their time basically in the Egg Bowls. So, a lot of in-state kids, between us and state. Programs have been extremely different. I'm not taking any shots. I mean, the win-losses since we've been here of the two programs are dramatically different in very different directions that the programs are headed in. So I think they see that, so that knocks out state, in that for the kids. And then I think more kids now stay here, where before they were leaving because they felt, okay, I've got to go wherever it was at the time here, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, like a J.J. McGeese, because, I want a chance to be able to win more and get the things they want to achieve. And now they've seen you can do that here. So, and I think staff's done a good job. I think Kelvin Bolden, who has a lot of connections here, has done a really good job with in-state players when they come on campus here and developing relationships. He's been very critical to that as well.
Is this a reflection of a change in philosophy by you guys as far as wanting more high school kids, or just the way it worked out?
Well, I think you got to have numbers because of just turnover now. I think you're going to see massive roster turnovers around the country. And we had a lot of seniors also. But yeah, ideally, I've said it, just because our system adopts and moves, I think, as well as anybody what we do. And we do that whether it's offensively, defensively. We're always changing, always evolving to the systems, to the rules, to NIL, to collectives, to everything, to portals. The best way to build a roster long term is not to go to the portal every year. That's not the best way to do it. I'd love to be at a place where you can sign, top five high school places, top five high school classes every single year, and then it's a lot easier to retain them, because once you have them, it's easier to retain, and even in the market value, a lot of times get an easier, hometown discount once they're there. That's not been able to be the case. Maybe someday it will here at Ole Miss. It's not been the case. So we had to go address needs. We had to go portal, and that was the only way to, continue this success. And hopefully win this, you know, postseason game. And what, 3 of the last 4 years have 10-win seasons. You know, we gave the list to the players the other day when we were talking about, you know, not in the playoffs, the value of a bowl game and winning a 10th game. And I don't have the list here, but the names of teams in the last 3 or 4 years that have won 10 wins, they're all your national name brands in Ole Miss. So that's pretty exciting.
Caleb Cunningham. Caleb Cunningham continues the streak of in-state kids. I guess just what do you like about his game in specific, and how much of an instant impact could he be next year?
Yeah, he could be huge. That was that was really big. He's a great player. You know, that at one point obviously looked like he was leaving the state and got him back. And great kid, great family, and in a position of need next year with losing so much there. So we have very high expectations for him.
Currently, no quarterback in this class. Is that something you're going to keep an eye on, or are you happy with where things stand, or maybe something you'll look into with the portal as well?
Yeah, I think we're, you know, as you guys know, but we're kind of new age in analytics and salary cap and roster management. And I think a lot of people just still kind of do the same thing. We got to sign this many people at this many position and, you know, pay them whatever it takes. And I've said now for 2 years, I think you know, you got to be really careful with that with high school quarterbacks, in my opinion. So, you know, sometimes we're on a guy and, you know, the price gets too high. And that's the world we live in now. And you got salary caps. And I just think when you put a ton of money into that, it's just such a transfer position that usually doesn't play in year one. And look around the country, what you're about to see coming up here, you're going to see a lot of these high-priced guys from a year ago go in the portal. So they just blew all that money. So